My dear friends, hi, I'm Daniel Popa. I welcome you to a less good-looking corner of my property, but I want to share with you something which I have done for a good while and might be a benefit to you. I am a beekeeper. Most of the videos I post, they're on beekeeping. This particular one, not directly to beekeeping, but if you think it's totally cut off from beekeeping, I think you could be wrong, because everything in nature ties up together. I do have a worm farm. You might have heard of a worm farm. I started maybe 4 or 5 years ago having it. Bought the worms from Fish and Tackle, the ones you go fishing for. And I bought a couple of small tubs and they just multiply beyond belief. Now, I started with these polystyrene boxes, which you can get them for free in the back of Foodland and Woolworths and things like that. They do bring cauliflower in. And what you do, the very bottom box in which the juice goes down, you do not punch holes in the bottom. But the other ones, you do punch few holes here and there and allowing the juice to go down. And you're gonna put, I don't wanna go too long in detail, but nevertheless, let me show you. You put the worms in there. You can Google it up a bit for what sort of medium you put in. And you see I had a problem. As they build up and fill up the box gets really heavy because they transform all the organic material you give them to eat into pure gold. It's called worm castings. See, I have taken some. Look at them. Worm castings. It's worm poop. And you basically take some of that. There's few ways to go about. See, all the juice drains down in the bottom. The bucket is full. And let me see. Okay, so I have here some as like pure gold. It's called worm juice. Worm juice. You can put these like 1 part worm juice, 5 parts water, and water the plants inside, outside. They're tremendous nutrition for the plants. Now, I'll do something else today. It's called compost tea. Compost tea. Maybe some, and I was afraid of it. I thought it's too complicated. It's not at all. I purchased a pump for an aquarium. It has 2 ends, see, with these 2 floats, and it will pump air. That's a must. You must have something like this, otherwise it won't work. And what you do, you come here and you harvest your worm castings. Look at the worms here. Oh, mama. Oh, apples. Yummy. All sorts. Just Google it out. Also, all the scraps from the kitchen, they can go in here. They're gonna break it down. They're gonna eat it. Though I have taken quite few. Let me show you a bit more. Look. Look at that. And they just go through it. It has to be covered with a towel, with something like a mat, even an old t-shirt. They love it. They just hide in it and has to be moist as well. You harvest those worm castings. I'll show you. I'll go for it. How do you harvest them? There's lots of worms in among them. What I do, I just put I put a scoop on a, you see this, it has holes, and you put it in the sun like that, and in a minute or 2, depending if it's really sunny, the worms doesn't like the sun, so they just dive down through the holes onto something with a little bit of soil, and then you just scoop this here, and that's the easy way to harvest the worm castings. If the worms are a bit lazy, then yeah, you'll just pick one here and there if they're left behind, and you put this stuff basically in. You can put it in a sock or something like a mesh. I don't even mind that. I just put it in, and that's, you have to put organic molasses. How do I do that? I'm not sure. I'll put this here for a second. You have to put like a good tablespoon of it. I'm not gonna dip the tablespoon in there. Some people will think it's gross. But when I was a child, I used to play lots with worms. And don't ask me, when I go fishing, I have an endless supply of worms here. I don't need to go and buy them. Just an endless supply. So that's all with the molasses. And I just have to plug it in. I'll just plug it in. Oh, well, I didn't want to bother the wife. See? And it's all brewing there. It must stay like that, not in the sun, somewhere in the shade, 24 to 36 hours, not longer than that. 24. So tomorrow afternoon, you basically stop the air, you put it in a watering can, or spray it as a foliage on your plants. I have done this, I think, 2 months ago. And my wife is telling me you must do it again, because the inside plants are just laughing. What's happening if you spray it on the foliage? They are telling us, you can Google it out, compost tea, that because of the molasses, the good fungi and the good bacteria inside these worm castings, or you can use other good compost, they multiply, no telling the numbers. I just cannot pronounce it. And then when you spray it, they immediately go to the root of the plant if you put it on the root, or colonize the leaves, the stem and everything of the plant. And then the bad fungi and bad bacteria, when they come, they see the sign occupied. Sorry, no more room for you. So this is extraordinary simple to do, and extraordinary beneficial. With no worms, plants will really struggle, because what the worms do in the ground, it's extraordinary. So if you can, have a box somewhere in the shade. They don't like sun, and sometime when we had 45 degrees, I had something like vegetables, which I put in a plastic bag in the freezer. I take them out from the freezer and I put them on top of those towels, and they really love it. It cools down the cavity. But in these polystyrene boxes, it's even better, because they're isolating great, so you wouldn't have the problem of really getting really hot up. Well, God bless. Until next time, all the best to you. Thanks. Bye.